just ask on Facebook, what oil should you be running in your 3.6? And you will get a bunch of answers. And those answers are going to range from the default answer of 0W20, which it says right there on the oil cap, to 5W30 to 10W30, you name it. What brand, Amsoil, Royal Purple, all kinds of stuff. Well, today I am switching things up. I have been running 0W20 in my 3.6s for as long as I've owned the vehicle. Optimus over there has 126,000 miles on it, but the original 3.6 engine completely blew up. The cams ground down, tore the engine up. I had to replace the engine at 90,000 miles. So I do have one experience with the engine failing. New engine in there has about 35,000 miles on it. Our Gladiator here is sitting at 27,000 miles on it. Now, full disclaimer, I'm not an oil expert. I don't claim to be an oil expert, and do not take my advice for anything when it comes to your engine. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do and why I'm doing it. You should do your own research and make your own conclusions. That being said, there are oil experts out there, one of them being the Oil Geek, and as well as several others that I've watched, but the Oil Geek one just comes to mind. And he's ran tests between 0W20 and 5W30. The results are conclusive. 5W30 protects your engine better. It's that simple. Interesting thing, this 3.6, not this one, the 3.6 liter Pentastar is not a new engine for the JL. It's been around for a while, like decades. All of that time, up until the JL and the JT, and currently around the rest of the world, this engine is spec'd for 5W30 motor oil. However, in the US, the same exact engine with the same exact specs and the same exact tolerances is spec'd for 0W20. Why is that? Well, money. It comes down to money, right? A thinner oil, especially in the bulk that a manufacturer is using, is going to save a little money on the cost of that oil. Secondly, by running a thinner oil, they're getting an EPA credit. The Environmental Protection Agency will give them a credit for using a thinner oil because it's more environmentally friendly. Well, yes, it may save them a few cents here and there, and it may get them some credits from the EPA. That is not necessarily what is best for your engine. And with the amount of engines that we see that are having problems, I think you should protect yourself. Now, again, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you what I'm doing. So, getting ready to go to Baja. During that trip, it would be time to change the oil, so I'm going to change the oil in advance. It's got about 60% life on it right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and change it, and I might be a hair over when I get back, or right about the time I should change the oil when I get back. And I'm switching to Valvoline 5W30 oil. It's a little thicker weight, and it's going to be interesting to see if it makes a difference. Gas mileage-wise, technically speaking, I should get worse gas mileage, but it should be absolutely insignificant. With 38-inch tires and a lift and the dirt box canopy on here, I'm not really driving this thing for mileage. I'm driving it for fun. And I don't think I would notice a couple tenths of a mile per gallon difference or a half a mile per gallon difference. I'll never notice that when I'm driving. So yes, I may take a little mileage hit, but I think it's at the trade-off of protecting the engine better. Now, before I do that, what I'm going to do is we're going to start the engine. It's a cold start, so it hasn't been ran in a couple days, and it's probably about 45 degrees out here right now. So it's a cold engine. I'm going to start it up. I'm going to put the mic over here, and we're going to listen to the engine. We're going to whatever we hear is what we hear. Then after I do the oil change, we'll do it again. We'll see if we even hear a difference. Maybe we will, maybe we don't. I don't know. Haven't changed the oil yet, so I don't know what the results are going to be. But we're going to get to the oil change, and I'm looking forward to seeing if there's a difference. Again, this engine only has 27,000 miles on it, so it's not a high mileage engine, but let's give a listen to it up close. Let's see what we hear. I mean, personally, I'm not a huge fan of the sound of this engine. It just, it does sound a little ticky to me, but not like damage type ticky. I've just never been a fan of how this engine sounds myself. So we'll get the oil changed. We'll see what happens next. Okay, well, this isn't a complete tutorial on how to change oil, but I've already got the oil drained, and I didn't show that because my oil drain process is probably different than yours. You probably have a drain plug that goes in there. I do not. I have a fumato valve, and it screws in place of your drain plug, and you just lift, flip over, and it starts draining. And when you're done, you flip it back, drop it down, and it stops draining. It makes doing oil changes super, super fast. But I did also have to remove an access plate from my skid plates, so I didn't bother to show you. But the oil's draining right now, and we're going to change the oil filter and then change the oil. So this is a very fast process. And just if you've never done it before, I'll show you what's involved. So on the 3.6, the oil filter is underneath this. This is a little plastic housing, has a 24 millimeter end on it. So we'll just loosen it up and then pull it out. And it's just a simple filter. So no getting underneath the vehicle and having to deal with a spin-on oil filter. This one is literally just that easy. All right, grab some shop towels here, and we'll pull out that old filter. And you can just see it's a very simple cartridge style. So it just comes right out of that. And there's also an O-ring around the top here that we have to replace. And when we open up a new package, we will find a oil filter and an O-ring. So we're pretty much good to go. We're just going to take the old cartridge out. It just pops off, and then remove that O-ring, which somewhere right here I had put just a little flathead screwdriver. I'm just going to pop that off, then get the new O-ring, and I'm just going to grab some oil from inside that cover, and I'm just going to lube it up. Now, you could use fresh oil if you want. It doesn't make any difference. I mean, it sits on the outside, and it's just to make sure that it seals good. Walk that around, make sure it's in place. Take our new filter, pop it on there. It's not going to come off. Drop it back in the hole. Make sure you don't cross thread it. And changing the filter is really just that easy. I'm going to get it hand tight, get my ratchet, and give it about one quarter of a nugga dugga. That's it. So it only takes a few foot-pounds of torque. And now, well, we're not quite ready to put the new oil in because I've got to get underneath and turn off the fumato valve, and then we'll be ready to put oil in it. I've got my 5 quarts of 5W30, and we're just going to pour it in. Very simple. You know, I do not miss the old spin style fuel or oil filters that are, I mean, they're not old. I mean, they're still on a lot of vehicles these days, but this top mounted cartridge, super easy to change the oil. So I love that. And I'll just make sure I get every last drop out of there. And we'll just double check. Yep, dipstick is absolutely perfect. Nice clean oil. So I'm going to get everything cleaned up and my tools put away. Then we'll come back and give a chance for that oil to work through everything. We'll restart it. Maybe we'll hear a difference. Maybe we won't. Okay, we're all done. Total time was under 10 minutes, so it's not bad to do it. And that's only because I have to remove an access panel from my skid plate. It takes me a couple extra minutes to do it. Otherwise, it's pretty quick. But usually I'll start the oil draining, then I'll come out and I'll change the filter and do whatever, you know, check my other fluids and everything while it's draining, make sure I get a good drain, shut the drain off, come back up and fill the oil. So now I'm gonna go start it up, and I'm curious to see if we hear any difference just by changing the oil. We may not, so but let's hope for the best. Now, maybe it's an expectation bias, I don't know. It sounds a little better to me. It sounds like it's running a little smoother. Hard to say. I'm gonna hold the mic up in the same spot, and then I'll actually play some before and after, and we'll see if we can hear, you know, a difference. Now, we may not be able to hear a difference, but we've got what I believe is a better oil in here with better protection to help keep this engine from having long-term problems. I've already replaced one engine, really don't want to replace another one. And if going to the original spec of the oil for this engine, which is still the same spec as everywhere else in the world, if that makes a difference, well then, I guess I made the right choice. But again, do your own research, make your own decisions, form your own opinions. Let me know in the comments what you think. Am I making a mistake? Did I do the right thing? Is there something I should do different? Let me know. I'd like to hear from you. Until then, stay safe out there. We'll see you on the trails.